Whether Morris was with Bhagavan, Mahatma Gandhi, or J. Krishnamurti, his method of first questioning, experimenting, and experiencing the truth at every level, and only then accepting and following it, remained the same. Such was his nature. This is exactly how he led the 75 villages that he was reforming. He loved the poor, uneducated villagers and was so compassionate towards them that they felt purified in his presence. In fact, they addressed him as Swami. Morris was successful in his venture in the villages, and very soon the whole of India became aware of the kind of life Morris was leading. By this time, Bhagavan and Mahatma Gandhi had dropped their bodies. This was a great setback for Morris, but he decided to rededicate himself to the cause they had taken up because he felt he was still on a stage and had to play the outward game. Morris went to Varanasi to stay in the Krishnamurti institution there and implemented the reform programs in the surrounding villages. Krishnamurti's followers were also great admirers of Buddhism, since the teachings of Buddha and Krishnamurti were similar in many aspects. Senior followers of Krishnamurti like Arjit Patwardhan became very close to Morris. This also happened to be during the Tibetan turmoil, when the communists in China were in the mood for seizing power. When Morris heard about the tumult, he swung into action because at that time Appa Pant had just become the governor of Sikkim. Without wasting time, he immediately went to Sikkim and met Appa Pant and told him with gusto, "You are going to be of great use to me. We have an important mission to accomplish here because we have to save His Holiness the Dalai Lama, all the old Buddhist manuscripts, and thousands of Tibetans." Characteristic of him, Morris immediately took Appa Pant to Delhi to meet Jawaharlal Nehru, then the Prime Minister of India. Morris, the diligent worker, already had by this time the roadmap to successfully carry out the rescue plan. But Morris and Achat Patwardhan related to me how they had worked a plan for the escape of His Holiness. It was eventually the blueprint laid down by Morris that Nehru followed in getting His Holiness out of Tibet. They fed the Chinese government with wrong information on the flight of His Holiness, and ultimately the Indian government acted in a contrary manner. The day His Holiness escaped to India, so did hundreds of fellow Tibetans. His Holiness the Dalai Lama came with many old Buddhist manuscripts, now preserved in the museum in Sarnath. Thus, thousands of priceless manuscripts were saved from the destructive hands of communist China. When the Dalai Lama entered India, Morris planned it in such a manner that Ajit Patwardhan would meet the Dalai Lama and give him the details. Yet there is no mention of Morris in any of the books related to either the Dalai Lama's escape or the smuggling in of Buddhist manuscripts from Tibet. I have never seen a person as self-effacing as Morris. Similarly, there was no mention of Morris's name in the Maharshi's Gospel originally, and only now is his name being mentioned. At the time of the Tibetan struggle, Jawaharlal Nehru very bluntly said, "My hands are tied." Morris immediately traveled all over India, spending his own money in order to find refuge for hundreds of Tibetan refugees. Morris sought cooler places for the refugees and established 5 settlements. If the Tibetans enjoy a peaceful existence in India today, it is because of this Jewish mystic saint, whose name is not mentioned anywhere. Discovering the capability of this man in bringing a semblance of order even in the most chaotic situations, Nehru requested Morris to take over the Khadi movement. It had initially been started by Gandhi, but was later in total disarray. This meant that Morris had to go to Mumbai. Here he stayed with an old friend of his, Miss Pettit. Bhagavan gave me the opportunity to meet Morris in Mumbai. I had earlier met him at the ashram in the 1960s during the rare visits that he made. And again, I met him when I went to Mumbai in the 70s to collect funds for the advertisement for Ramana Ashram's journal, The Mountain Path. Maurice then told me, while your body is engaged in running the ashram, your heart should be totally settled in that pure awareness of truth. Never miss that, whatever you are doing. We used to have beautiful private conversations. Once Maurice confessed to me in all seriousness, the burning regret for us is that probably full advantage was not taken of those happy and precious days when Bhagavan was with us physically, eating and talking and laughing, and openly available to us all. Reality was there in abundance in our midst for the taking, and anyone could take it. But we enclosed ourselves in our false humility, in procrastination and false excuses. We took therefore a cupful when the ocean was at our feet. On yet another occasion, Maurice prodded me on just to give me a push, saying, "See, Bhagavan is not the person, he is the teaching. As the teaching, he is fully available to you. In addition to whatever work you are doing, plunge within and taste awareness inwardly. That awareness is our Bhagavan." Maurice used to take me for long walks in Mumbai. He would tell me, "I will not provide you with a car. I will not even take you by bus. You have to walk wherever you go along with me. Are you prepared?" With hands folded in namaste, I would answer, "Would I hesitate to be in the proximity of truth and reality?" Maurice was a spiritual giant, but physically he was less than 5 feet tall. Surely no one would hesitate to walk next to him. On one of these walks, Maurice said, "Ganesham, today I am going to take you to the place where I met a simple man selling beedis." As we were walking towards the place, Maurice narrated, "I saw a group of people smoking beedis. They were relating their woes of life. This simple man answered them exactly in the manner of Ramana Maharshi. Had Ramana Maharshi spoken in Marathi, it would have been the same. I stopped in my tracks and listened intently. It was astounding to see an ordinary man selling beedis, cigarettes, and talking so spontaneously. I started going to the place every day and noting down what he says. I would then go home and translate all the questions and answers into English." However, Maurice was ridden with guilt because he had not sought the permission of this person. He informed the man what he had been doing and read out all his writings, translating them into Marathi. The man was delighted and told Maurice, "Go on recording, go ahead." This was later published as I Am That, a publication that shook the entire spiritual world. And this man was none other than Nisargadatta Maharaj. Later on, after I had met Maharaj, I told Maurice, "Whatever you say is absolutely true. I can feel Bhagavan's presence in his presence. The teaching of Bhagavan comes from him spontaneously." Maurice always used to encourage me, "Come on and narrate to me the dialogue that you had with Maharaj." Being a spiritual seeker associated with sages and saints will deepen your understanding. It will help you go deeper and experience it. Reading improves only intellectual understanding. This experience-oriented understanding will happen whether you have understood it or not, and it happens only in the presence of the realized masters. And so saying, he encouraged me to go to Maharaj. I was unable to be with Maurice Frydman in his last days. but I was happy to understand from a devotee of Bhagavan, who was also Nisargadatta Maharaj's devotee, that Bhagavan himself looked after him. The devotee told me about a nurse in Mumbai who normally charged a huge fee for her services. This nurse had had a dream in which a sadhu wearing only a loin cloth told her very clearly, "My devotee is suffering. Go and attend on him." The sadhu also gave her precise directions to reach Maurice's residence. The nurse went to the place described in the dream the next day and found Maurice Frydman in bed. Miss Pettit was older than Maurice, and she too was helpless and unattended. The nurse immediately offered her services. Maurice's austere attitude would not allow him to accept her services, and so he refused. Disappointed, the nurse was leaving the room when she saw a picture of Ramana Maharshi there. She turned to Maurice and exclaimed, "This is the sadhu who appeared in my dream." Maurice, visibly moved, said, "So my master has come to look after me." He allowed the nurse to serve him till the end. Appa Pant, who looked upon Maurice as his guru, was present during Maurice's last days. And I would like to quote Appa's own words when he said, "The sage is dying," whispered a soft voice over the phone from Mumbai. "The sage is asking for you. Appa, come as soon as you can." When I arrived, Miss Pettit, the doctor, and the nurse complained to me that Maurice was refusing to eat and take medicine. They implored me to make Maurice eat and take the medicine, as if anyone could make Maurice do anything that he did not want to do. There he lay in his familiar room, with everything meticulously clean and in its proper place. As I approached him reverentially, he shouted, "Appa, who is dying?" The next day he drove everyone out of the room, ordering them to leave him alone with me. Then he said beautifully, "Appa, I hear music. I see the bright light. Who dies? No one is dying. This diseased body is keeping me away from that harmonious beauty. Do not let them keep me in this body. Go now in peace." The next day we were all at his bedside as he breathed his last 3 breaths. As he spoke, "Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om," and he was gone. Nisargadatta Maharaj was also at his bedside, and so I asked him, "Maharaj, where is Maurice going? What is happening to him?" And Maharaj replied, "Nothing is happening. No one is dying, for no one is born." Then I asked Maharaj, "Then why this sorrow, this emptiness, this loss, Maharaj?" And Maharaj graciously turned to me and said, "Who is feeling the sorrow? Who is feeling the emptiness? Who is feeling the loss?" And all I could do was remain silent. Within hours, in the presence of Nisargadatta Maharaj, the remains of what we called Maurice Frydman were consumed in the fire. The remains had returned to their original order. The great devotee, Maurice Frydman, had returned to the source, Arunachala. Once I went to Nisargadatta Maharaj's house because he had asked me to stay with him. I stayed there for 8 days. In the morning, from 8 to 10, he would ask me to be seated while he did puja. There were photographs of saints like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, the Buddha, Jesus Christ, Ramana Maharshi, and yes, even Maurice Frydman in his room. Maharaj would apply sandal, vermilion powder, and perfume to the photographs and garland them. As he was doing this ritual one day, I was asking myself, why is he doing this? And right at that moment, he turned to me in a compassionate tone. Maurice Frydman was a yoni. He was a saint, a sage. This is undeniably true. Maurice Frydman has blessed us all by bringing to us the essence of the teachings of Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj. How fortunate we are to be able to share the life of such a great being, a being who wanted to remain unnoticed and unseen. So much so that the first edition of the Maharshi's Gospel compiled by Maurice did not even bear his name. We, sincere seekers of truth, must cling to him in our heart.